The Future Mundane is a project that helps people explore their potential lived experience. And this particular version is looking at AI and data. And we want to consider what it will be practically like to live with these things in the future. So rather than focus on the technical details of the technology, we're really interested in the social effects.
Now I am just going to explain the sensors in the room. This is necessary for our meaningful consent procedures. All right.
It's a provocation. It's not an answer. What we're saying is this is a potential future that you may come up against. How do you feel about it? And if it's not what we want, then the time to change things is in the present.
If you wish to withdraw your consent, I suggest you hold your thumbs up now.
We bought a second-hand caravan. We completely stripped out the inside. We were trying to create a version of a kind of living room, then integrate all the electronics into that. It's all very well going to galleries and the like and doing an installation there, but you get a very specific audience. Caravan allows us to go to more remote places, get a broader range of insights. So basically, we put switches in the box. They were too deep with the wires on, so this is to extend the lid up probably about 10 centimeters in the end. It's one of those things you do when you find that you put everything together and it doesn't fit.
You have to make sure that either all works or doesn't work, because obviously if that doesn't open and then the tray starts to open, it all just goes wrong.
In some ways it's also a perpetual beta project where you're constantly tweaking and evolving. Every time you take it out, you get new insights from how people react to it. In some ways, surprisingly, that people aren't as concerned about data as we might be in some cases. And I think people, they don't care until they care, if that makes kind of sense. It's not until something happens that challenges their expectations that then they start to worry about it. It's often the trouble with when you talk to people about the future is they relate it to what they understand from the past. And McLuhan says we walk backwards into the future. And so by providing them an experience of what the future may be like, it makes it easier for them to relate to what might need to be done in the present.
I can turn the fan on. I can even alter the scent of the space. Can you smell the lovely aroma? My own concoction.
For me, design research works really well when you're operating in a more explorative way. With many disciplines, they get bogged down in the method and the approach and forget that you can actually change things and be a bit more pragmatic and to deal with the mess of it and then not just try and clean it up, which I think is often a failing of some research. It tries to alleviate all the variants, and in some ways those are the really most interesting things, because it's often these kind of tiny little messy things that actually affect people's lives quite dramatically. We're hoping that it carries on as a platform as well. We see the caravan not as a kind of isolated one-off experiment, but a platform that people can author new experiences and then take them out and evaluate it. So we're hoping that it has a life well beyond this.